Talk to Your Boys by Rafaella Marcus. Tell them that the gentleness of their palms is a precious thing. Teach them to trace the soft curve of an eye. Let them know that desire is a stranger for us all at first, a quick dark shadow at the door. Tell them the lurch in the gut is a free fall, not a punch. A plummet with the grace of a bird. That none of us know how to see or be seen. That learning is terror and high art. Let them know they may invite desire in and make it a friend. Understand to them that their bodies are cradles, and so is yours. That a self is a self is a self, not islands, but oceans. And water does not break for bending. My son waddles in small dignity, lighting his focus here and there like a butterfly. Like the butterflies he loves to see in books, landing his small finger on them with stabbing delight. I hope then I can give him tenderness. I hope then I can rehearse with him lightness of touch, the caress of knowing a live thing is in his hand. I hope he hears all this one day in other men's voices.
What we knew. We knew we were creatures, crawling out of nightclubs, shouting in kebab shops and jumping cabs, and giving our ex's address to the driver when they catch us and bark threats of police or worse. We knew we were feral, and that's how we liked it. Queens of the night and slags of the night bus, heads in the speaker, hard dicks in our backbones, crushed glass in our kneecaps, but still we move towards the fat glory, the black hole of destiny, every sniff, every swallow propelling us forward and draping the world in soft neon velvet, dissolving to glitter, then cold dawn light. We don't know what it will be like. We only know it is. Radiant, roaring, gleaming, coming. The future. We don't know they'll touch us while we are sleeping. Maybe inside us. We'll never know. But at least we'll know that somebody wanted us. Maybe you'll wake up with his finger inside you. Get your shit together, get the hell out of Dodge. Then call him the next day to save any awkwardness. You'll see him at work, so best clear the air. Perhaps he'll confess it, hang dog and hurting, and you'll laugh and hug him and say, "Babe, I was asleep." Booze will blur the pictures, drugs scramble the print, Rohypnol tears the pages out completely. That story has no end, that you'll ever know. Probably best you'll never know. Back then we didn't know that nonces wrote the rules, ran the show, wrote the crop tops and thigh gaps and lollipops. Didn't know that one day I might like to lie in the heat of summer and trace my own wet finger down the trunk of my body with its mounds and hollows of shame, full of love for everything it is, not hate for everything it isn't. I, the mother, want to come to you now, the creature, reach across the years and gather you up. Come to those clubs and bars and cars and taxis and streets and parties and stairwells and bedrooms, those places where you never knew it glistened on a knife edge. We can walk together then, towards the fat glory, the black hole of destiny, the radiant future. And you will reach your hand in and turn it over and find nothing. And you will look at me and I will say, right, now look inside.
Opening the Files by Parry. Exhausted, we somehow march our leaders across the island to where XX marks the spot. Force them to dig it up, the box we knew was hidden. We order them to prise it open and watch as names and titles escape, fly through phones into homes. Sweating, they perform for us, swirl ribbons dipped in the blood of girls who they raped and photographed. Used to the spotlight, the names make a show. A piece called Remember the Victims. They say it like a eulogy, a chance to fill the stage with stories of powerful men, as if grief belongs to them. Will a princely crown topple? Will an ambassador fall? It'll be easy, they think, for how can anyone remember someone whose face they do not know? And why would anyone want to think about how a little girl went from playing with toys to becoming a toy herself? But we are stubborn. When our leaders opened the box, they were so worried reading the names they did not hear us call for hope. She flew out with prison keys and lives with women who no longer lower their eyes when they tell stories of what they once pretended to forget. Just one of them is inside. The named dozen stand outside the bars. We wait, we watch, we count.
Magic Eye. A pair of fake Tommy Hilfiger flares, navy, signature red and white panels at the waist. Got them with my own money down Covent Garden Market, GCSE trip, the woman in black, mega box of Smarties at the interval. Oi, give me one of those. Wore those trousers everywhere. Just let your sister borrow them once, for God's sake, nah. These are my playground camouflage. Magic Eye, I'm blending in with the kids. At my Saturday job, bagels, coffee, ice cream, dreaming of the next CD these 8 hours will buy me, Baduism or Fugees, maybe? Did you get that? Grunts the manager, face drawn from his newborn. The lady wants mint choc chip. Reaching over the freezer, biggie, 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 can't you see? He walks behind me and whispers, your ass looks fantastic in those trousers, Yaz. A black, nondescript top, thin, long sleeves, perfect for tying round the waist. Got it from Tammy Girl or Mark 1, maybe? Wore that top everywhere, except on the days my little sister needed it, for the same playground camouflage, magic eye, we're blending in. Kids.
How do I reconcile my love? For Dylan, who could read before I could, or Jason, who tried to bring my silkworms back to life, or Darren, who gave me a walnut with a little sign that said I'm nuts about you, or Tobojo, who called me lonely from his dormitory on Wednesday nights with the endless horror news. How do I reconcile my soft fleshy heart with my spine arched and shining, like the artist's interpretation, like a knife on a dark street? There's Mr. Murray, who ran across the cricket field to catch the man when I was 7, and Kyle, who died on the same field when I was 17. But then there's the news, the news, the news. In France and India and America and here and of course home, 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 the worst. There's the whispers amongst us, the lists ticking like long grasses of this one and that one and the one we all know. There was that one time when he, in the morning, and So do I abandon Zia trailing haltered ponies, or Uncle Vaughan, my legs dangling from his shoulders, George's cast iron pots of stew, Roger's tweezers at my splinter, Dad crying over my cut off hair, 14, crying again when we left him at the hospital, 34. Here is my tender belly. What do I do with my stripped raw throat? I love him, of course, like a liver. Will I pitch him into the soil like a pail of spoilt milk? What about my friend? My friend. Oh, my friend who I love. Will I will myself to stop loving him? But there are 67 million. Or is there only one? Surely everyone is someone's brother, father, lover, son.
Say their names. She's in control, girl power, no scrubs, just hard candy and juicy tubes. 'Cause she's all that, but she's never been kissed, her hair adorned in butterfly clips. It's juicy couture, the Madonna whore, a pastel pink haze for an adult male gaze. Glitter gel and jelly shoes, the illusion that she gets to choose, and tattoo chokers, asking can you choke her? Lure in invisible girls, promising to pay their bills, bills, bills. Is girlhood commodified, a global shady enterprise, incentivised, cash pay, names redacted and filed away because they want it that way? So say their names, and say their names, and say their names.
In 2026, the office buildings dwarf the relics. The Tower of London just looks like a birthday cake for the big boys' business party. Big boys' castle birthday cake for the big boys up the gherkin. It's never quite dark now. Never dark enough for a real secret or a traditional fuck. We're all lit up like Christmas trees, arse about face when the day is done. It's never quite dark now, but dark enough for an open secret. Children to fuck. Then smile around the Christmas tree with their daughters and sons. In 2026, I have to adjust my eyes to look up for 5 minutes and watch the world go by. I'm dizzy with the realness. It doesn't compute. I need a screen break from my screen break. I try to watch a pigeon. I try to watch the clouds. I try to watch a man walk by without thinking he's a cunt. I try to watch a man walk by, but he's looking at his phone. Cake tower, cake bridge, shiny spaceship office block, big boy's birthday tower, big boy's birthday bridge. I can't remember the last time I saw a stranger's eyes. In 2026, the big boys are winning. Fire and rage, interchangeable with tradition. Don't they lie on the grass, feel the sun on their face, and think? In 2026, young boys' minds are the weapons. Their ire and rage, misdirected at women, never taught to lie on the grass, feel the sun on their face, and think. In 2026, speaking up is just screaming into the void, but my heart is screaming into its own cavities and dying with the noise. There's a cover, there's a cover, there's a cover for that. We uncover and find there's a cover on the cover for that. I'm afraid of the not quite dark. I'm afraid of the men. I'm afraid of the shiny office buildings that look like they might blow up, like in James Bond. The safest place around here looks like that bloody tower where people were literally murdered. But today it looks like a cake or a place I could hide. At least the ravens could protect me there. And the old men in red called Derek. Although I'm not sure I can even trust them anymore.
Pussy grab. Felt his hand. Clamp hard. A 1 second squeeze before he ran. Cider can slopping back to the laughter of grown men. My tasseled skirt, cats in sunlight. Provocation enough.
The Holding Breath by Rebecca Cruikshank. How can we escape it? In a full gasp? That feeling. Spin on your axis, stretch it out forever, forever and ever for everyone who knows the goings on inside the depths of the holding breath. Time stops. A gulp and a full gasp blast at the tip of a tongue as you lose your grasp. Push. Blink. And there you see and hear the honeybees sing. They are drunk on stars. Hiccups, spit, yellow feathers, heavy arms on top pop as you press, and the steel at your back sings to the glass up above, and your tears drip, drop from the top. A river now, a rush of water serenading the sparrows as the dawn breaks a smile. Come. The holding breath has found you. Crisscross. Knot your fingers tight, breathe deep, repeat, taste all you seek. Time will pass and make this over soon. As the holding breath cups your heart with care, like a snuggle with a warm newborn's blanket. You catch his eyes. Please let this one fall. So heavy, with a thud. The holding breath softens, sighs, ribbons suffocate, the beastly groans. Stop. No. Stop. No. Stop. No. Stop. Thrust. Flop. Splat. Melt. Ouch. Softer edges. Where are my softer edges? The holding breath says you are still a rendezvous with a secret realm. Hold it longer, like a lost loved one's lock of hair. Hold them close to your chest. You are the keeper of lullabies in every pore. Listen for when the holding breath whispers, it is done. Now do it. Watch a while. Roll away. He's perfectly poised on the edge. Your stare could shred every last bit of him. Push him further. 1 step left, 2 steps right, and shove. He falls from the greatest height. Splat. You're much lighter now. And the holding breath can go up loud. Dial it up. Together. In. Hold. One more time, and in. And hold, and scream.
The women are all weak. How to exclude women from scientific research. With special thanks to Jeffrey Epstein, Roger Schank, Larry Summers, Lawrence Krauss, and the institutions of MIT, Harvard, and Yale. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and saw himself lauded amongst scientists, thought himself smart and intense, interesting. Though behind closed doors, the scientists laughed at his temerity, the stupidity of a man defined by money and not brains. Still, they sang the song of sycophants, carefully keeping the illusion of superiority so necessary for shits with fragile shells. Neuroscientist Dr. Alison Twelvetrees works on the polarization and extended physical architecture of neurons, leading to a better understanding of neuronal cell biology and how this is disrupted in disease. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, was convicted for soliciting prostitution from a minor. Sorry, doesn't that mean raping a child? And yet his buddy club of shit-for-brains scientists sucked it up because his money weighed more than their morals. Shallow waters run shallow. Immunologist Professor Kizzmekia Corbett propelled novel vaccine development for pandemic preparedness, including mRNA-1273, a leading vaccine against SARS-CoV-2. The salon of scientists and powerful men couldn't hold on to their convictions when handed the world on a plate and a boys' club spot in a hot tub in Santa Fe. Convicted for what? The cogs in the male genius mind turn the answer over slowly. This should make for an easy equation. His money plus depravity equals moral bankruptcy. But the tub is hot, the champagne bubbly, the girls tasty. Follow the leader, eyes on the prize. Male genius raises his glass, hesitates, and then says with certainty, "We can all make mistakes." to the secrets of the universe and to the infinite funding of my research. See, the boys' salon were afraid that if their sugar daddy fell further, then the silenced women of STEM, neither distraction nor decoration, would rise up and crush them. Theoretical astrophysicist Professor Premavada Natarajan is noted for her work in mapping dark matter and dark energy in models describing the assembly and accretion histories of supermassive black holes. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. The salon of scientists and powerful men protected Humpty, who bankrolled them.
Love or lust? Triais I dy garu di rhyw dro, I wella clwyd y ddwylon crwydro. Cuddiais wirionedd dy fysedd atgas yn lliwio'n nghorff I heb embares. Gwisgais wyn. Ffigio gwenu I gyfiawnhau dy ddefod brwnt di. Os yw arweinwyr yn cael gwneud, pam na fydde ti'n dweud dy ddweud a gwneud dy wneud I gorff rhyw ferch gan feddwl bod ti'n teimlo serch. Ond nawr dwi'n fam I fachgen bach, ac anodd iawn yw ei gadw'n saff rhag afiach lais y dynion gwan sy'n meddwl dim am I annwyl fam.
Choosing the bear. I ask him if he's ever raped anyone. I love you. He says no, so I ask if he's sure. I love you. He says yes, and I say, okay, I love you. I say, what about the other men? The other men in this house? No, and I love you. I say, are you sure? 100%. Yes, and I love you. How do you know? I love them. Because I know. I love them. Knew them at 8. Playground, kiss chase, football. At 11, protectors from bullies not on their watch. 16, GCSEs and sex and Nintendo. 21, uni, lockdown, heartbreak. And this is starting to sound like, haven't I written this poem before? Wasn't he someone's bodyguard? Didn't he graze his shins in football? Wasn't he a boy once? Wasn't I? We stop. We kiss. I love you. I'm sorry. But when I am taken in the night, thighs bloody, throat slit, all signs will point to him. Statistically, by a wide margin, it will be him. And I would be a fool to forget his teeth in the tenderness of kisses or the sharpness of claws each time he holds my hand, stupid not to think of snakes when he coils around my body. You are gentle, you are wonderful, I have never known kindness like it. Never had such understanding or space to feel this raw. We never fight, there is no shouting, and still it will be him. Because he loves me. Because I love him. I ask how he's been sleeping. Will you ever sleep again? And then I lie down, a comma inside his body, and I willfully forget. Intentionally foolish, deliberately stupid. It's what I need to shut my eyes, to dream soundly, be woken by his mouth in the morning, take the coffee from his hand, trust it isn't poison, and say, good morning. Thank you. I love you. I love you.
Things I remember from the year I turned 15. Not old enough to smoke or drink or drive or vote, or not old enough. Hiding the braces on my teeth from the man behind the bar, sneaking cigarettes down leisure centre steps and cider inside our local cinema. Nightclubs, pubs, fake IDs. Let me know when you turn 16. Not old enough. Things I remember from the year I turned 15. Saving up my babysitting money to go to France with school, discovering French bread and salty butter, Pernod, Prince chocolate biscuits, the fact that the French teacher and the maths teacher were shagging, and how it felt to wear a dress my mum had made me and to kiss a boy in the year above. Falling in love. wearing my boyfriend's scarf and smelling of him, letting him put his hand up my shirt in an alley while we waited for the bus. My boyfriend running off with my best friend. Having my heart broken for the first time, and my mum letting me smoke in the house. Things I remember from the year I turned 15. Sitting in a public toilet, reading a slogan scrawled on the wall, "God is a woman." Being shocked by the blasphemy of the words, but sitting there in a dirty toilet asking myself, why is being a woman an insult? Walking away and leaving some of my Catholicism behind. Things I remember from the year I turned 15. Having to cross the road out of school in our game skirts and lacrosse sticks, having to walk half a mile through the town to run around on a public pitch in tiny skirts. We literally stopped traffic. Getting a train from Scunthorpe to Lichfield with friends, sitting on the floor of the buffet carriage, a man holding up a note that only we could read. 3 sexy girls are arousing my penis. Blushing and feeling sick. At a resort in a pool, a guy coming up behind me, grabbing onto me. I thought for safety nothing else made sense, not understanding as I ran why I was so scared. Things I remember from the year I turned 15. Persuading our friend to tell a teacher she was being abused by her uncle. Watching her family turn against her and call her a slut. Watching her leave class to wash her hands. Watching her leave class to wash her hands. Watching her leave class to wash her hands. And saying goodbye when her parents moved her across the country to start again. Standing outside my classroom, crying in the corridor in front of my form teacher. Years of trying to be what everyone expected of me, for that moment, had broken through the walls I had used to protect myself. And I couldn't tell her why. My father trying to sleep with me. Staying at his flat, he was meant to stay on the couch, but he was drunk and climbed into bed with me. I smelt of the TCP I had put on my spots. He was naked. I was 15 and had never slept with anyone. He was 32 and an alcoholic. I got out of bed and slept on the couch while he shouted that I was so fucking conventional. Things I remember from the year I turned 15. Jeffrey's ready for his massage. He was face down. He didn't have any underwear on. When he began to masturbate, I completely froze. I had no idea what to do. I was on an island. I didn't know how to get away. I just stayed up all night waiting for dawn to break, just basically sitting in my room like a mouse in a cage, just waiting to be preyed on. You shouldn't have the mindset of a sex worker at 14.